Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I am Samantha the Introvert. Today I want to give you my personal review on episode 7 and 8 of Kiseki Dear to Me. I already did my reviews on episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Links are in the description below, so without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 7 starts off where we left off in episode 6, when Bai Zhengyi got injured and Fang Jiru helping dressing the wound. During all that, Bai Zhengyi confessed to Fang Jiru again and kissed Fang Jiru. Now, initially, Fang Jiru tries to push Bai Zhengyi off but gave in and kissed back. And when I mean kiss, I mean full-blown deed making. During the deed, Fang Jiru asks Bai Zhengyi if he knows how to do the deed since it's man and man deed, and Bai Zhengyi told Fang Jiru said he researched it immediately after he found out he fell in love with Fang Jiru. The next day, this boy looking glowy. You know when people say when you do the deed it shows and you glow? Yeah, well, old boy right here is glowing. He was so good he couldn't even get up out of bed. Fang Jiru then apologized to Bai Zhengyi for making him feel sad the other day. And while they're making out, Bai Zhengyi got a call from his sister saying that she's outside with their father. Fang Jiru had to hurry up to get his clothes on. Later, Fang Jiru made them go to his place, lying that Bai Zhengyi's place has a leak. When they got in, the father asked his son how he knew Fang Jiru, and he said he's just a friend. Fang Jiru told them where they could sleep since the place only has 2 rooms, which made Fang Jiru had to sleep in the sofa. The sister, who is 16, trying to flirt with Fang Jiru, but Fang Jiru said that he already has someone he loves and that she would have to wait a very long time before she will be with him. Don't worry, he said it in a kind way. Later that night, Fang Jiru sees Bai Zhengyi still up and asks what the matter. Bai Zhengyi said that he feels hopeless since all he does is depend on Fang Jiru. Fang Jiru started telling Bai Zhengyi to not think that way and proceeds to tell him about his background story. With that, Bai Zhengyi told Fang Jiru about his story and that his mother left him, his sister and father, and the reason he is afraid of the rain. The reason he's afraid of the rain is because his mother would always beat him on rainy days. In the meantime, the scene then shifts to Zhang Teng talking to somebody. Then his accomplice Wan came to tell him that the person who was behind knowing about his whereabouts and told Sheng Yi was Fang Jiru, and this left Zhang Teng furious. Now we went back to these lovebirds making out. The sister came and saw them, and at first she gave a shocked face but immediately was happy and went back to bed. When Bai Zhengyi bag fell, he saw these pills and asked Bai Zhengyi about it, and Bai Zhengyi told him that his friend gave it to him. Sheng Yi came and asked about Heidi, but because he couldn't get him, this guy had to lie to Sheng Yi. With the information they got, they found the friend and started interrogating him. Okay, let's pause. Heidi, you didn't have to be there with Fang Jiru. Blew your cover. They told them about some guy and they ran him down but thought he got away. Bai Zhengyi saw them from a distance and stopped the guy. When they got home, their lovey-dovey got ID to leave even though ID wanted to stay. As soon as ID left, they continued. The next day we see ID dressed as Red Riding Hood and Bai Zhengyi as the big bad wolf. Some guy named Jai called ID and told him that Sheng Yi got hurt, and of course ID run to his crush. ID went and the group didn't even recognize him, which was not that hard. At least Sheng Yi could guess it was ID. Okay, that is the end of episode 7. Let's move on to episode 8. Anyways, Sheng Yi could instantly tell it was ID in the costume. Anyways, after that, Sheng Yi started to talk to ID on why he never told him he was undercover at the school with Fang Jiru. ID basically told Shang he doesn't always have to tell him everything, just like how he went to infiltrate Zhang Tang without telling him. Shang Yi said he couldn't tell ID because whenever he tries to get a hold of him, ID refused to answer. Anyways, Shang Yi showed ID what he found, and it seems Fang Zhiru and Zhang Tang were once close. Later that day, we see Bai Zhongyi showing Fang Zhiru his letter he got from a medical school. They later stumbled on two lovely gay couples at a marriage court celebrating their marriage because it is now legal to do same sex marriage. They started running with joy, but soon turned out to be running of fear because Yang Tang and his men were chasing them, all while these two looking up the history of Yang Tang. While they got cornered, Fang Zhiru secretly called Sheng Yi, and they heard the trouble Fang Zhiru and Bai Zhongyi is in. They started beating both Fang Zhiru and Bai Zhongyi very badly. With all his beating, Fang Zhiru tries to plead with Zhang Tang to spare Bai Zhongyi because he is just an innocent person, but Zhang Tang didn't care. When Zhang Tang was about to stab Fang Zhiru, he recalled the days he met Fang Zhiru, and that was his happiest day. I mean, from day one, Fang Zhiru was and still is a friendly guy to approach. Because of that memory, he can't seem to hurt Fang Zhiru. When his accomplice heard Zheng Yi and ID calling from a distance, he tries to get Zhang Tang to leave, but Zhang Tang insists on hurting Bai Zhongyi. But Fang Zhiru hit Zhang Tang in the head with a rock and started punching Zhang Tang, and Bai Zhongyi had to stop him. As we can see, Zhang Tang was losing a lot of blood, but he was still breathing. While Bai Zhongyi held Fang Zhiru in his arms, Fang Zhiru went unconscious. Time started going backwards. Then, because of Bai Zhongyi yelling out Fang Zhiru's name, crying, it got Heidi and Shengyi finding them. The next day, we see Bai Zhongyi at Shengyi's place. Then Bai Zhongyi got fed up of waiting and tries to leave to see Fang Zhiru, but Heidi and Shengyi won't let him. It turns out Fang Zhiru is in a family hospital and been in there for 3 days. And if that's not problem enough, Bai Zhongyi got a call from his sister telling him their father collapsed and is in the hospital. Trying to leave, but the boss stopped him, saying he wants to make a deal with Bai Zhongyi. He then got home to his sister and comforts her, telling her everything will be okay. We get to see that the boss informing us that Zheng Ting is dead, but the police is investigating the case. And this is where the deal comes in. They know that Fang Zhiru killed Zhang Teng, but the boss said that the Fang family wants Bai Zhongyi to take the blame. They want Bai Zhongyi to admit he's the one that killed Zhang Teng in exchange for getting his father the art surgery that he was waiting for. So apparently his father was in on a waiting list for years for a heart transplant, and because the Fang family has money and power, they can make it happen, but only if Bai Zhongyi agrees to the deal. Oh, and they will be doing this for free, no payment, and he will not have to pay them back. Yang Yi tries to tell the boss that this is wrong, and the boss punched him, saying it's their fault for getting an innocent person involved and that he is disappointed in Sheng Yi. The boss told Bai Zhongyi that he must go home and think about the deal. Because of this, Bai Zhongyi thinking about the time he was with Fang Zhiru planning their future of living together, even making proposal promises for when Bai Zhongyi's future is financially secure. Unfortunately, that future will be on hold because Bai Zhongyi eventually took the deal to go to prison. But bear in mind, this was not only for Fang Zhiru, but also his father to have a chance to get the surgery. In prison, his sister sent him stuff with Fang Zhiru's picture, and Bai Zhongyi started crying, expressing his love for Fang Zhiru. Then all of a sudden, he got a big whack in the head harder than whack-a-mole. See, this is what I don't like. This what make me upset. You got this boy took the fault for someone to go to prison and not even secure his safety in prison? Okay, guys, that is the end of my review on episodes 7 and 8 of Kiseki Dear to Me. Stay tuned for my review on episode 9 and 10. And as always, if you like any of my reviews, give them a thumbs up, subscribe, hit notification bell so you never miss any of my videos, and I'll see you next time.